Okay, so I'm kind of limited on the lighting here, but finally got a couple parts in today. I had a lot of help diagnosing this. It kind of seemed like the issue was the throttle actuators. It's an 08 M3 with 135,000 miles on it. A lot of trouble diagnosing it, just to make sure it was actually the issue, only because I didn't want to spend a lot on parts. So thanks to everybody over at E9 Post or M3 Post, because you guys were definitely by far the most helpful ones on this. I just wanted to make a quick video and kind of show you guys how to go about doing this. This took me about 10 minutes or so, 15 at most, to get apart. Really not bad. But this is, I probably should have mentioned, this is if you want to replace your throttle actuators or your secondary air pump. Up to this point, you'll have loosened these screws right there, for your hose clamps. You loosen each hose clamp. There's 8 of them, obviously one on each cylinder on the throttle bodies. You're kind of going to have to get into them in a weird sort of way. These ones I'm able to get almost all of them with a drill, except that last one back there, and then these ones I have to do all by hand. The way I did it was, wherever it is, using a drill, and this little guy, in the process of moving back home lately, so I've been trying to get all my stuff organized and trying to do this one-handed here, but it's a couple extensions with what would otherwise be, I believe, a 6mm on the end. Like I said, very limited on tools. Thankfully I've got enough, found that, to do this job, but with just my basics. But having the right tools always helps. But some extensions, you'll get into these, you can kind of loosen them by hand, and that's about it. You just go in there. You're going to have one of the sensors is going to be right on the intake. That's going to be that right there. You're just going to disconnect it, pull the push a little metal pin. If you can't do this shit, you probably shouldn't even be touching cars, but I'm trying to go through anything and keep it as detailed as I can without being too long. Then you're going to have these plastic clips are easy to break, so be careful. I'm pulling that out. That one's actually broken. Thank you, me. Go me. And then you're going to have that one right here, this thing. And basically you're going to pull all those off. You're going to want to disconnect it by, see if I can hold my light here. Sorry, light was in my mouth, just like that. You're going to squeeze it. They're kind of a pain in the ass, but you get the point. As I said, you probably shouldn't even be working on any car if you can't do basic stuff like that. But then you're just going to pull the intake manifold up. Rather than violently do it how I did this time, because this is my 3rd time taking it off now, you're going to want to pull up from the sides and the front. Just go easy. It's going to take some force, but it shouldn't take all the strength in your body. You shouldn't be holding your arms straight and pushing with your legs and your entire force of your entire body. Apologize, I'm tired, I can't talk today. It should come off pretty easy. So that'll lead you to here. There's also going to be 3 bolts, which are or nuts on the secondary air pump, which is that, and you're going to take those off, and some kind of hex right there. I don't remember which size. I've got one set over there somewhere. And then a connector in the back right there that's going to come off. So you'll pull that off. Oh, and not to mention this tube, which is also attached to the front of the intake as well. Same deal for that kind of clamp. But anyway, you'll do that, and then finally your MAF sensor, which is going to be right there. And then this is going to pull up kind of like a little half moon once you get those off, those hex bolts, and then you're going to pop that secondary air pump right out of there, and you'll also have to loosen this guy as well. Just pull that off like all the other ones, all the plastic clips, and leave it there, because that goes to your secondary air check valves, which will probably be the next thing I tackle in this. Anyway, and I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll come back and let you know where to go from there, and show you how to get the throttle actuators out. Okay, and now I just remembered that I have a light on my phone, and I fixed the lighting a little bit anyway, and another light, so should be able to see this a little better. So Just to go over what we did before, you're going to have a connector right there. You got to get all the hose clamps on each throttle body, and you're going to have a connector right there. One on the air box itself, which you should know how to remove the air box. It's 2 bolts right there, and it pretty much pulls out after you've disconnected the that's for that other connector, the boot on it. So 2 hose clamps there, pretty easy. And then you're going to have your sensor back here, and that's going to be a connector, and you're going to have to disconnect that one, and your 3 screws on the secondary air pump, and that. So just a quick review there. Next, you're going to have some bolts. You're going to have one here, here, mine are already off obviously, here, and right down there. I'm pretty sure that's all. There might be one under there, but I haven't taken it off yet. Don't think there is. And then you're going to have a few sensors as well, so or a few whatever electrical hookups, be them sensors or not. One right there, one right here, this little guy. I'll show you that one there, like that. This one, may as well just unplug them now. You're going to want to just pop this out of here at least. In fact, I'm not sure what all these ones are, to be honest. I probably should, but this is still a pretty new car to me. Something like that would likely be, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's probably going to be your coolant temp sensor. You want to at least pull this away off the idle air control valve, which you might be in here to repair as well. And then obviously your 2 throttle actuators, one right up here, and I believe that's it. And then you're going to be able to pull this thing up once I do that, so I'll show you that after. But that, and then we'll get into the throttle actuator bolts, which see if we can see them. Yep, there's one right in, right down there where that shadow is, if it would focus. Yep, right down there, right by the corner here, so you can see that one. There's another one, and there's the last one. So there's 2 there, 1 there, and then that other one right there is going to be your other side, and it's going to be the same deal for this side too, over here as well. Kind of pain in the ass to see them there. Got one there and one right there, so there's 6 total. The way I do that is, once again, use an extension with the proper hex, which I believe is the same one that takes off that secondary air pump. I loosen them. If you have a magnetic one, that's great. If not, you'll probably want to put a magnet on it. You've got to be careful doing that, or I'll use a magnetic pickup just to go down there and get them out, because you don't want to drop them, and that just backs you up. Oh, and you do have one sensor right here as well. That should probably be attached to something, but it's not. I don't want to know who owned this car before me. So you have that one as well, because you won't be able to get those actuators out. But your goal is not to remove this. Trust me, you probably don't want to do that, just based on what I'm seeing. But just to pull it up into the side, which I'll try and show you after if I can maneuver it with one hand. But I'm going to go ahead and take out that air pump and loosen all the rest of these connectors, and we'll get to it. All right. It's also worth noting that once you take off the throttle actuator bolts, that they are slightly shorter than the ones for the secondary air. So just a little thing worth noting, separate them. There's the throttle actuator ones, which I used a small neodymium magnet. You can get these at Harbor Freight, I think even has them. It's probably where I got this, actually, these ones. And I just went down there with an extension, and it is a 4mm, which is what works for the secondary air ones, and the throttle actuator bolts. So just one hex for this job, and I put that down there. Anytime you go to pull it up, this usually ends up moving up a bit. It's always worth putting back down just to make sure that you're not dropping them. You push it back down for the next bolt will move it back up, but the magnet will always be as close as it can be to the head. Or you could just get a magnetic socket. But anyway, let's move on here. And I apologize, I probably sound really dumb doing this video. Like I said, I'm tired, but that's not really what my problem is. It's that I have bugs bothering the living shit out of me. But all this disconnected. Pull it from the middle, because the back parts, if you go to pull it from the front, that's going to get stuck. You want to pull the whole thing aside. And also you're going to want to loosen these rods probably before you go to take it out, rather than after. What you'd use for that is a screwdriver. So I'm just going to pop that bad boy off like so. And same deal, just pry it. I'd used a little white lithium grease last time when I put these on, and my epic fail of an attempt to get them to work. But yeah, those are the rods. Mine came with new ones, so I'll probably use the new ones, given that these probably have, like, 500,000 miles on them or something. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. This side's particularly annoying to get out, but that one pulled off easy. So there's the rod. And I'm getting these out of here. I don't know if this is a one-hand kind of thing. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to show you this, but it's kind of pulling up and out. Be careful of your electrical. That's the biggest thing you don't want to screw up. And there this goes again. Kind of lift that one right up and out of there, just like that. And right there's that sensor I told you guys to unplug that I didn't unplug, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And about 45 seconds later we're back. So you're going to go ahead and pull it up and out. There's one of your throttle actuators. And I'll put this up next to the new one, which is right here. It's actually not new. I actually paid $200 a piece for these. I've got about 30K on them, or so I've been told. I haven't opened them. I'm just gonna hope they work. But yeah, that's your new ones. Looks a little better than those anyway, so it's always a good thing to see the part numbers and make sure they didn't totally rate me and give me okay, yeah, because you don't want to get an M5 or M6 one. They'll fit, but they won't work. You can get an M5 one or an M6 one and change the gears. I'd went to a local electronics store who happened to have the resistors I needed, and hoped that transistors, and hoped that one was just fried on the board. But sure enough, the gears looked honestly like they probably had about 60 to 90K on them, or 135, who knows. But yeah, I got lucky. So there's your new ones, and there's your old one. New, old. All right, so let me go back over here one more time and see if I can get that out. All right, got the other rod. Don't need that. Pull this up once more because it's a persistent little bastard. That plastic piece, you really got to be careful. That you don't want to break that either. That's something I want to replace anyway. I get picky when little stupid things break. I tend to want to fix them because I'm a perfectionist, as you probably can't see by how I'm doing this. But I'm usually a little more careful when I'm not trying to film. Oh yeah, that's it. Glad I did film this. So you pull that up. You're going to want to turn this around. The bank one. That's your bank one side's going to be the right side, passenger side on the US model. Bank one's always going to be that. And you pull that out. Unless bank one goes by what side the steering wheel's on. I don't know. Anyway, so we got it out. You just put the new ones in and pray to God that they work. So installation is reverse of your removal, and let's see, there's a little play. Good amount of play for what these probably should have. And my new ones have it's amazing what a little bit of play will do. I mean, those shouldn't cause an issue. I don't know. They don't feel much different, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see. Turn the car on, it works. It was the throttle actuators. Gears were pretty chewed up. If I remember, I'll post links in the description below, or somebody can ask. But basically, this was having cold start or warm start issues. It was working fine when cold, not when hot. It was hot turning it back on here. The engine was not stone cold when I worked on it, so this definitely would have been having that issue still. And upon taking those actuators apart the first time, the old ones, and posting pictures and what I'll try to remember to post here, it was the gears. So sure enough, they work just fine for, you know, another 500 miles or so until they blow up again. But there you go. Got a little exhaust leak. Not the smoothest idle. Got to figure out the secondary air. There's the service engine light for that. And I'm going to tackle that brake thing while I'm out here and get rid of that sensor light. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching, and good luck. Any questions, post them in the comments, or hit me up on M3 post, E90 post, Bimmer forums, everything. My username is BMW Lover 0725. You can also get me at bmwlover0725@gmail.com. 25 now. I've had that email and that username since I was probably about 9 years old, long before I could ever drive. So I've been dumb since I was a kid and liked unreliable cars. Anyway, thanks for watching.